Few Americans grasped just how hard the body fought against weight loss until a reality TV show called The Biggest Loser captivated audiences. One of the heaviest contestants on season 8 was Danny Cahill. For Danny, competing on the show was a shot at salvation, something he had longed for since childhood.
When I was a kid, I was like, if you could have one wish, what would you wish for? And you know, most people say $1 million, you know, or something. I say, I wish I could be like that person that eats the same as me and seems to never gain weight.
As a child, Danny tended to be heavy, but by the time he was a father, he struggled with obesity. His doctor warned that unless he slimmed down, he might not live to see his kids grow up.
I was mortified at how big I'd gotten, and it seemed like it happened overnight. It just sneaks up on you. You don't feel the pain. So when you gain a half a pound and a half a pound and a half a pound every week, well, in a year, that's 30, 40 pounds, and in 5 years, that's 150 pounds.
Danny saw The Biggest Loser as a second chance.
Look at that word believe, okay?
Cutting calories and exercising around 45 hours each week, he hoped to shed a pound a day.
Let's go. Pop it.
I went there with a purpose. I went there to lose the weight. I went there to break a record. I went there to write my life and to get the weight that I've been carrying around for years off of me.
As the season progressed, Danny pushed harder, cutting back to 800 calories a day. 7 months later, when he stepped on the scale for the final weigh-in, he had lost a staggering 239 pounds.
I was mentally exhausted. I was physically exhausted. In fact, looking back at it, I go, how did I do that? How did we do that? That is crazy.
Danny was determined to keep the weight off at home. He delayed returning to work so he could exercise several hours a day. When his book tour ended, he went back to his job surveying land. Moving less and feeling constantly hungry, the weight came back. Danny regained over 100 pounds, and he was not alone. 6 years later, NIH scientist Kevin Hall found that 13 of the 14 contestants he examined had regained much of their lost weight or were even heavier.
When you make extreme changes to your diet or physical activity patterns, your body responds very strongly, both in terms of slowing down the number of calories that you're burning as well as increasing your appetite and hunger. And those types of processes that are biological are well beyond willpower.
Close the door.
Research has revealed that as dieters lose fat, leptin levels fall, triggering hunger. As Danny regained weight, his leptin levels should have rebounded. But did they?
So you started out kind of more or less where you'd expect for your amount of body fat, but 6 years after The Biggest Loser, here's where you ended up.
And I was told that that would tell your body that you're starving and that you needed to eat. So how am I going to handle this being hungry all the time with my hormone levels out of whack? And is that ever going to correct itself?
Thyroid hormones also fell. And that's one reason, as contestants shed pounds, their metabolic rate, the number of calories they burn while resting, dropped.
What was the surprise was that 6 years later, their metabolic rate was still at the same level despite regaining all that body weight. You started off at zero, basically.
And compared to other contestants, after Danny's weight rebounded, his metabolic rate had fallen the furthest.
Your metabolism was about 800 calories a day lower than what we would expect.
I was shocked. My body burned 800 calories less than a normal man that was the same height and weight. And I just want people to realize that obese people aren't just lazy people. There are a whole lot of things at play here, and one of them is our biology.
So the vast majority of humans fail in a diet. And from an evolutionary perspective, that makes sense because we never evolved to lose weight. As soon as you go in a diet, that activates what's called a starvation response to help us hold on to energy.
The brain remembers that set point. The brain is a powerful organ, and the hypothalamus is powerful in knowing what our weight was. And so the brain wins.